On today's episode, we'll be learning about layout and composition from beginner to professional. Your learning objective of today will be to distinguish between layout and composition, apply grid system to create organized design, use white space effectively to improve readability, and establish visual hierarchy to guide the viewer's eyes, identify common beginner's mistake and how to fix them. What is layout? The blueprint of any design. Layout is the arrangement of elements on your canvas. It involves deciding where to place your text, your image, your shapes, your buttons, and your logos. Think of a layout like a city map. If roads are randomly placed, traffic becomes chaotic. But when roads are structured, movement becomes smooth. So layout controls movement. It guides the viewer's eyes naturally from one point to another. Another analogy, imagine your design is a room. Layout is where you place the furniture, the sofa, the bed, and the rug. You want it functional, you want it balanced, you want it visually pleasing. So a good layout guides the viewer's eyes naturally. What is composition? The harmony of any design. Composition is how the elements interact with each other to create harmony and meaning. Let's use the same room analogy. Composition is how the furniture feels together. Do they create a flow? Are they cramped or spaced out? So composition determines the mood, the clarity, and the impact of your design. As I said, layout is equals to placement, composition is equals to harmony. A good composition feels balanced. Nothing feels too heavy, nothing feels awkward. Now, let's break down some basic principles of layout and composition every beginner must know. Number one basic principles of layout and composition. You have the grid system or the grid. A grid system is an invisible framework that helps you align elements consistently. Think of it like a notebook line. Without lines, handwriting flows everywhere. But with lines, everything stays organized. Or imagine building a house without measurement. That is how designing without grids feels like. Grid can be used to create consistency across your design, make spacing predictable and logical, improve professionalism instantly. Even social media posts use grid. Websites use column grid. Magazines rely heavily on grid. Professionals don't just guess where things will go or where things are placed. They structure them. Number two basic principle of layout and composition is alignment. Alignment means elements line up with each other intentionally, whether it's left, right, center, or along a grid. A bad alignment makes design feel accidental, but a good alignment makes design feel intentional. Think of a soldier standing in formation. If one soldier is slightly forward, you notice immediately. That is alignment. Or imagine a book on a shelf. If one sticks out awkwardly, it feels wrong. Alignment creates order, and order builds trust, and trust makes design feel professional. If you look at the image on the screen, you can see an example of a bad alignment and of a good alignment. The one to the left is a bad alignment because the texts are not in a singular line and none of the texts are balanced. There is no use of the grid, there is no straight lines, so the texts are just floating. Compared to the one on the right, the good alignment, the texts are all floating from left and right, and there is a use of lines to guide the reader's eyes. Number three basic principles of layout and composition. The white space. The white space is not an empty space. It is the breathing room or the breathing space. It is the pause in a sentence, the silence in a music, the space between a furniture in a room. The benefit of white space is that it improves readability, it increases focus on key elements, and it makes content feels premium. Luxury brands use more white space because space signals confidence and crowded design signals insecurity. Don't be afraid to leave areas blank on your design. Principle number 4 is virtual flow. Virtual flow can also be called guiding lines. Virtual flow is how the eyes move across a design. Designers guide attention intentionally using patterns like top to bottom, left to right, the Z pattern, or even the F pattern. From the image on your screen, you can see that the starting point is number 1, which goes to number 2, which goes down to number 3 and number 4. That is an example of the Z pattern. Virtual flow controls what people will see first, what they will see second, and what they will remember in your design. The 5th one is hierarchy. Hierarchy is simply showing what is of importance. Hierarchy tells the viewer what matters most. It answers the question, where should I look first? You can create hierarchy using size, either big versus small, width, bold or light, color and contrast, placement and spacing. Without hierarchy, everything screams for attention. When everything screams, nothing is being heard. If you take a look at the poster on the screen, the title is big and the actors are medium and the credits are small. That is hierarchy for you. Now, if you look at the image again once more, you can see that there are 3 elements in the poster: the title, the woman, and the shark. They are all approximately the same width and are all centered in the page. However, in terms of height, the shark takes about 50% of the poster's height, and all it shows is the head of the shark. This loudly informs the audience that this shark is more of a monster that is supposed to be feared than an animal. Recap of all the principles we just talked about. So as I said, layout is equals to structure, composition is equals to harmony, grid is equals to framework, alignment is equals to order, white space is equals to breathing room, virtual flow is equals to direction, hierarchy is equals to importance, design equals to controlled communication. So what are the common mistakes beginners make when they actually design? The common mistake beginners make is that they crowd their design with different elements. Elements too close together create chaos. It suffocates your design. Number 2 common mistakes that beginners make is that they ignore hierarchy. Without a clear focal point, the viewers doesn't know where to look. Number 3 is random alignment. Element that float feels disconnected and accidental. Number 4 is overusing of element. Too many colors or fonts create visual overwhelming, so you should make sure that your design is not overwhelming. When professionals design with this principle, they communicate. Design is not decoration, it is controlled communication. So pro tips to improve your design. So use grids and guides to align elements perfectly. Limit font to just 2 or 3 per design for consistency. Choose a primary focal point to establish hierarchy. Leave breathing room in your design. Don't overfill your canvas or your canvas. Repeat key elements, colors, shape to unify the design. Your design workflow. Start with a grid. Set up your invisible framework before placing any element. Decide the focus. Determine what the viewer should see first. which is hierarchy, align and space. Align everything intentionally and add breathing room. Refine or remove. Remove unnecessary elements. Design is arrangement and not just adding. Ask yourself this question: where does the eye go first? Does everything feel crowded? Is everything aligned? Is there a clear hierarchy? If the answer is no, then you have to redefine or refine your design. Design is not all about adding more, it is about arranging better. Most people think creativity is random inspiration, but it is not. Creativity strives inside of structure. A jazz player improvises, but they still follow rhythm. An architect designs freely, but they follow the rules of physics. Designers express creativity, but they follow layout and composition. Structure does not limit creativity, it stretches it. And when you master layout and composition, your design instantly looks more professional. Even before you improve your colors or typography, this is the difference between a beginner and a professional. Key takeaway is that layout and composition are the invisible forces that make design readable and effective. Use grids for structure and alignment for order. White space is your friend. Use it for focus. Hierarchy guides the viewers to what matters most. When you master this, your design looks professional instantly. See you in the next video.